Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's English speaking practice. I'm Sarah.
And I'm John. We're here to help you practice talking about your job in English.
That's right. In today's conversation, we'll cover how to introduce your job, explain your responsibilities, and talk about your work environment.
It's a great topic to help you feel more confident when someone asks you, "What do you do for a living?" or when you're discussing your job in everyday conversations.
Exactly. So let's jump in. We'll start with a simple introduction about our jobs, and we'll explain some key phrases along the way. John, let's start with you. How do you usually introduce yourself and your job to someone new?
Well, I usually keep it simple. I say something like, "I'm a software developer. I work for a tech company where I help design and build applications."
That's clear and straightforward. You mentioned two key phrases there. I'm a software developer and I help design and build applications. These phrases tell us both your job title and what you do.
Exactly. You don't need to go into too much detail at first. Just a quick summary of your role is usually enough when you're meeting someone for the first time.
Right. It's good to keep things simple at the beginning. Here's how I introduce myself. I'm a marketing professional. I work in digital marketing, which means I help promote products and services online.
Nice. You're also giving a little extra information about what kind of marketing you do. Digital marketing gives the person a better idea of your specific field.
Yes, and you can do the same for your job. Try to add a little detail about your specific area of work.
Let's practice. Imagine you're meeting someone new. Start by saying, "I'm your job title. I work in your field or industry." It's a simple formula, but it works well.
Now, after the introduction, people might ask you, what do you do exactly? This is where you can explain your responsibilities in more detail.
Yeah, they might ask something like, "Can you tell me more about what you do?" Or, "What does your job involve?"
For example, I might say, I'm responsible for creating online advertising campaigns, managing social media accounts, and analyzing data to improve our strategies.
That's a great way to summarize your tasks. You've given 3 clear examples of your responsibilities.
Right. It's important to use verbs like manage, create, analyze to describe your duties. These are action words that tell people what you actually do at work.
Good point. For me, I'd say, I develop software programs, troubleshoot technical issues, and collaborate with my team to create user-friendly applications.
Perfect. You've included different aspects of your job, from creating software to working with your team.
Exactly. And it's important to mention teamwork, especially if collaboration is a big part of your job.
Let's give our listeners a few examples to try. If you work in customer service, you could say, I assist customers with their inquiries, solve problems, and make sure they're satisfied with our service.
Or if you're a teacher, you could say, I plan lessons, teach students, and assess their progress to help them improve.
These examples use action verbs like assist, solve, plan, teach, and assess. These are useful words when explaining what you do. Now, let's move on to another important part of talking about your job, describing your work environment.
Yes, people might ask, what's your workplace like? Or, do you work from home or in an office?
For example, I work in a flexible environment. I often say, I mostly work from home, but sometimes I go to the office for meetings or team projects.
That's a great way to describe a hybrid work setup. For me, I usually say, I work in an open-plan office with my team, but I also have the option to work remotely a few days a week.
It's good to mention whether you work alone or with others, and whether you have a set location, or if you move between different places.
Definitely. Some people work in different environments. If you're in construction, you might say, I work on various job sites and each day is a little different depending on the project.
Or if you work in retail, you could say, I work in a busy store, helping customers and organizing products.
These details help paint a picture of your daily work life.
Another common topic when talking about your job is job satisfaction. People might ask, do you enjoy your job? Or, what's your favorite part of your work?
This is where you can share what you like most about your job. For me, I'd say, I really enjoy solving complex problems and working with my team to build something new.
That's a great answer. You're highlighting both the challenging and collaborative parts of your job. For me, I'd say, I love being creative and finding new ways to engage with customers through marketing campaigns.
Nice. You're focusing on the creative side of your work. What about challenges? People might also ask, what's the most difficult part of your job?
That's a good point. I might say, Sometimes, it can be challenging to keep up with the fast pace of changes in the digital world, but it's also exciting.
For me, I'd say, the most challenging part is troubleshooting complex technical issues, but it's also rewarding when we find a solution.
When talking about challenges, it's always nice to end on a positive note. Like you said, it's rewarding when you overcome those challenges.
Let's switch gears a little. People often ask, how did you get into your field? Or, what made you choose this career?
That's true. It's a great chance to share your career story. For example, I might say, I studied marketing in college because I've always been interested in understanding consumer behavior and how to create compelling messages. After graduating, I worked in a few different marketing roles before specializing in digital marketing.
That's a great career journey. For me, I'd say, I've always loved technology and problem solving. I studied computer science at university, and after doing some internships, I realized that software development was the perfect fit for me. I've been working in the field ever since.
Your story highlights the importance of finding what you're passionate about. Sharing your career path can help others understand why you love your job.
Absolutely. It's also a good idea to mention any major turning points or decisions that led you to where you are now.
Lastly, let's talk about future goals. People often ask, where do you see yourself in the next few years? Or, what are your career goals?
That's a common question, especially in job interviews. For me, I'd say, in the next few years, I'd like to continue improving my technical skills and possibly move into a leadership role where I can manage larger projects.
That's a great answer. It shows ambition and a desire to grow. For me, I might say, I'm hoping to expand my expertise in digital marketing, especially in content creation and strategy, and eventually lead a marketing team.
These kinds of responses show that you're thinking ahead and have a plan for your career development.
Yes, and it's important to be both realistic and aspirational when talking about your goals. Now that we've covered how to talk about your job, it's time for you to practice. Try answering these questions out loud. What do you do for a living? What are your main responsibilities at work? What's your work environment like? What do you enjoy most about your job? What challenges do you face in your job? How did you get into your field? What are your career goals?
Remember to use the phrases and examples we've shared. It's all about practicing and getting comfortable with these conversations.
We hope today's practice helped you feel more confident talking about your job in English.
And remember, the more you practice, the easier it gets. Keep trying out these phrases in your conversations, and soon talking about your job will feel natural.
Thanks for joining us today. Be sure to check out our other videos for more English speaking practice.
And don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you found this helpful. See you next time.
Bye.